And we're going to do it, we're going to go by chronology. And we're starting with June 1965. That's when the Africanization of Busoga College Mwiri started. And the first headmaster okay. We're not as organized as we could have been, I must confess. We're going to start with the first African headmaster of this school, represented by the family, the late Daniel Ngude Okunga. He was here from June 65 to December 1968. The family of Daniel Okunga. Sorry. The family of Daniel Okunga, represented by the family. And I believe they would also like to present to the school a portrait of their father. And next, the family. And they would like to present a portrait of the late Okunga, if the school could receive it. Daniel Okunga was renowned for, after the change in the style of leadership, he was renowned for walking the hill at night just to ensure discipline. And Mwiri Headmasters, in case you students didn't know, they walk a lot at night. So you think there's nothing going on, the headmasters are. And there's the picture. Okay. Thank you very much. The family of the late Yekosani Yowel Okot, popularly known for those who are here then as YY Okot, where the family is here. Let's keep clapping. And Mrs. Okot is here to receive it. Thank you very much. I don't think the family of Peter Eriaku is here, unfortunately. Mrs. Eriaku had hoped to come, but she wasn't able to come from Serere. But we have been in touch with her. She taught some of us maths and biology in senior one. The family of Mr. Eridad Yosua Fagayo also thought they would make it, but a family event came up involving all of them. But he's still alive. He's in He's in somewhere in Bunyole. I forget the village. Keith Difa Simutengu. We never used to call him Keith. We used to call him Keith. I don't know why. But the family also thought they would come and represent him. He's still alive. He lives in Jinja and Chinawampere. Yeah, is there somebody? We've been looking for somebody, but there was nobody who could receive it. Oh yes, one of his students is here. Mwami Mubiru was with me here in the 70s, with same class, if he could receive it on his behalf. Then David Peter Chintu. I believe his wife is here, Mrs. Chintu. Mr. Chintu was the headmaster twice, but he's recognized between 79 and 1981. He was my last headmaster here. Mr. Pithe John Indiko, who actually promised the guest of honor, he was his headmaster in another school, and he said in Old Kampala, he had promised he'd be here. They even spoke. None of the children are here either, and he had many sons here. I don't know who will receive on behalf of... I'm going to ask Julius Kiprop. Mr. Andiko was your headmaster. Please receive. Julius is our outgoing chairman of the PTA. This is a popular one, but his family might not be here. Those who are here with him reckon he was the best of the best. I don't know, I wasn't here, so I can't judge. George Walugembe Kayondo. Sadly, no one is here. But we also at the centennial, Mr. Mulongo will receive it. Fortunately, when we celebrated 100 years, he was honored. Then he was headmaster here from 85 to 92. Then January 93 to June 98, Mr. B.F. Kagwa. I believe he's here. So, yeah. Thank you. And then we had another one for the younger ones, who I still have a bone to pick with, but he remains my friend, George William Semivule. Mwiri had this habit of preparing headmasters for Budo. And all the best Budo headmasters came from Mwiri, starting in 1960 with Ian Robinson. President Katende, you forgive me. After George Semivule, we had someone who acted both as a deputy and headmaster, Mr. Daudi Mulongo. When Mr. Mulongo was the headmaster or deputy headmaster and he went somewhere, you felt that if you didn't go to school in Mwiri, then you didn't go to school. That was the caliber of the man. Yes, then one of my cohorts, Mr. John Mukubira, from January 2005 to 2011. Is Mr. Wamala? I don't think Mr. Lule is around. Wamala Lule. I don't see any member of his family, but we should mention them as well. And my friend Michael Chisame, who lives a walking distance from here, is not here. He sent his apologies. Oh, I understand he fell ill this morning. I don't know who can. I'd ask someone from Wilson House, Dr. Cheyamwa, if you could. You were together in Wilson at the same time. Same year, I believe. Ah, okay. Soft-spoken gentleman. Now the deputy headmasters, many of these may not be around. Barry Taylor, and none of his family was around. Barry Taylor lives in the UK. Mr. John Mogalu, my art teacher. Okay. Mr. Charles Wilson Kaziba is about to crucify me because he became headmaster when I was chairman of the board. Mr. Kaziba, my apologies. I don't know how I missed your name. Mr. Kaziba. Ah, he's here. Apologies, headmaster.
I was headmaster twice. I was a deputy.
I know. I'm looking at your name. He's not too happy with me, but he's my friend, so I'm safe. He was headmaster twice and also a deputy. So how could I forget him? And he came headmaster at a very difficult time, and he steadied the ship. Where are his people? Mr. Victor Matur Obielo. Mr. Obielo, this is his son. His sister is a Rotarian. When Mr. Obielo was our deputy, 74, 75. very, very strict. Please, when you go home, remind your father how strict he was. Thank you. Mr. Biela lives up north, and Lira, the journey was going to be quite difficult on him. My literature teacher, Mr. John Waibi, passed away recently, a couple of years ago. I don't know, is Mrs. Waibi around? She had, no. Someone of the 70s, please, Justice Egonda, Mr. Waibi taught you literature. I think please do us the honors and receive it on our behalf. He taught you literature. You got a 1 at O level, and you got an A at A level. So really, you deserve to do that for him. The family of Mr. Andy Walana, I thought I saw somebody. Yes, CPA Kanyalo will pick for Mr. Elisha Ndiwalana. At the time we thought he was too strict. All the students who thought they didn't like him, in later years loved him for what he took them through. So students, that's a lesson. Teachers do something for a reason. Mr. Elnathan Chiria. Elnathan Chiria. No, not here, unfortunately. Reverend Junju, the son is here, I think. Mr. Ndiko, Pither John,
yes, sir.
Please, your award had been received on your behalf.
Thank you.
But I know you want to shake the hand of your former student, General Wamala, and that he gives you the award once again. Would that be acceptable to you?
Yes, thank you very much.
Another one in the Mr. Mulongo class, very muzungu zungu. Mr. Ndiko has received his award. Also, Mr. Keith D.B. Mutengu's son is here to receive on his behalf. But somebody had received it, but please go and receive it. Mr. Mutengu used to drive a fine Mercedes-Benz. Now, in the 1970s, many of you may not know what that meant. That was something. Mr. Tulibadawa. Is the family here? He was here at the time of G.W. Kayondo. Mr. Musa Chirunda Chibedi. Mr. Lawrence Omara Aloro. Mr. Lawrence, a fine biology teacher, never taught me, but a fine gentleman. I met him in later years. Mr. Peter Draku Anziku. Mr. Anjiku. Oh, Mr. Anjiku had told me he'd be here. I wonder what happened. Then Mr. Peter Kayale. Mr. Kayale, I saw. Mr. Johnson Walimbwa, sorry I skipped you. And then we all have favorites, don't we? We all have people we like, don't we? Students? Students? Mine was Henry Monda Mugoya. Henry. Guest of honor, we're almost at the end. Mr. Abdul Malik Lunialo. Abdul Malik. I'm also going to ask him to receive on behalf of Charity Arinaitwe. They were here at the same time, and they're both head teachers in the same district. So if he could receive on her behalf and deliver to her. Mr. Moses Malinzi. Mr. Malinzi. Mr. Malinzi isn't here. I think that about brings us to the end. Any errors and omissions, I take full responsibility. There are those who are still serving, who we have not honored, because this is for the past leaders. So your time will also come. Just make sure you leave like the rest of them left, with a nice clean sheet. Thank you very much, our guest of honor and the team. Thank you very much, guest of honor. Since we started, we've had a few more guests. We had the president of the Mango SS, Honorable Moses Alepa, is a member of Parliament. Honorable Alepa, president of Mango SS, thank you very much for coming. I understand the president of Trinity College is also here. Trinity College? Tricona, I hear. Okay. The president touched on us forming linkages and associations with alumni of the traditional schools, as they are called today. So, on behalf of all of them, I am going to ask the president of the Old Budonians Club, Mr. Jim Rogers Katende, just to say a few words on behalf of the alumni of all the old traditional schools. We don't want to be sunk by these new schools.
All protocol observed, a guest of honor, General Katumba Wamala, the president of Old Budonians Club. I'm the president of Old Budonians Club. I'm called Katende Jimmy Rogers. I'm an advocate of the High Court, and I'm here seeing a judge of the Supreme Court. I'm very excited to be here. I've never been to Mwiri, but in our time, many of our colleagues came to Mwiri. Many headmasters, I see Mr. Semivule was also headmaster King's College Budo, and many others served both Budo and Mwiri. King's College Budo and Mwiri suffer the same threats. These traditional schools are challenged. I liked what the president said. We are over 100 years old. We have challenges from new schools that are 10 years old. And for us, and Mr. General Kawamara could help us, people imagine that we are doing very well. We are not. We're not getting capitation grants, because there are some schools which are getting and we are not getting. Our infrastructure is suffering the challenges of old age. We have the same things at King's College Wood, by the way. We have challenges, but we need to, the alumni, first what we are doing with Budo, we are actually mobilizing ourselves, engaging in the school and trying to transform it. I've seen OHT Wawagwa is out there. He's now been appointed one of the trustees in King's College Budo to help us refocus the school, because we also want to turn away from what we've been and want to change and challenge these schools that are mushrooming everywhere. Most of them are on Atano Kuchikumi, if you know what I mean. They have very small spaces, they have no football pitches, no cricket, nothing. But they are taking away the numbers. They're taking away the numbers. I know you guys have this challenge that we can't take everybody, but look at the spaces we have here. Do you know how many people are not going to school? There are very many out there. We need to get numbers. These numbers will help us finance infrastructure. Recently, we got one of our dormitories burnt. In 1 year, we were able to build a 3-story dormitory through mobilizing parents and the alumni. This year, we are building another one. And we shall be doing a structure 3-story every year. And we used to have the same challenges here because I know they are not telling you that the ministry doesn't allow you to increase school fees. They want you to attract students to come. You need to make it a more commercially viable because people think the schools are great, but they can't be great if you're not financing these changes. Budo also has 100-year-old buildings, yeah, which we are trying to transform. I'm now on the board and we're trying to change some of those things, and it needs us to go and help the teachers and the headmasters of these schools because many times, you remember, they are teachers. You guys come from the corporate world. You need to come and bring in your expertise as corporate managers so to transform the way we look at schools. Because these other schools that are coming up are run on a commercial basis. One, you'll be able to have good infrastructure. You'll be able to, for example, this new curriculum we have, which is competent-based. It's no longer on the traditional blackboard. You need projectors, you need to change. We need to transform these schools into a new trajectory because the numbers are out there. So many people want to come to school, but they're challenged by the traditional approach. One, people are restricting numbers. You need numbers. You know one of the schools, I won't mention the names, they have 1,000 students per stream. They advertise. They go out there, get the numbers. You need the numbers to finance some of these projects. You get it? And we need it because we are ceasing to be relevant. Because there's a school I know which takes more students in the university than some of us traditional schools. And because they have a critical mass of the numbers that they use to challenge for positions in these other places, in even other professions. Because look at our profession, as lawyers, doctors, engineers, our schools are no longer producing enough people because we have small numbers. So for me, what I want you to encourage this, Mwiri, let's improve our numbers and the quality of the people we attract in our schools so that we can finance some of these projects and we get these things for another 100 years. Otherwise, the biggest thing that suffers is the land. I don't know if some of you have been doing Agaradi Kungfu. People have the audacity to come and steal land in Budo. Mwiri is still very far, but let me tell you, the challenge is coming. So we need to fight for these things, and it's us to fight. Don't leave it to the schools, because the schools don't have the muscle to fight back. Some of you professionals, lawyers, engineers, those in politics, you can at least say something about some of these things. So that you help some of our schools. It's very, very critical. I'm here to support my colleague. We also invite him to come and see what we are doing in our places of the schools. We have volunteers, by the way. We're not paid, but we put time and energy to transform some of these places. And I will encourage all of you, forget lip service, to forget WhatsApp. You go and participate. You come back here and change these places. Yeah? Thank you. Sorry I didn't talk to you, but thank you.
Thank you very much, President Katende. We're almost at the end. And as we ask our guest of honor to make his remarks, we're going to have someone serenade him here. And as soon as the serenade ends, guest of honor, the floor will be yours. Where's the serenader? Thank you very much. Lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you a fine officer and a gentleman whom we are privileged to have as our guest of honor, General Edward Katumba Wamala.